Hi you guys, it's Rachel from Urban Empath. It's day 15 of our soul coaching journey with Denise Lynn, and our affirmation for the day is I am safe. And Fire Week has officially begun, and it's all about getting in touch with internal fire, the idea of fire, creativity, the spark of divine within, and courage, you know, things that we associate with fire, internally as well as without. Your connection to the element of fire, lighting candles, the warmth, heat, the sun, light of any kind. And I loved how she talked about fire in the book and talked about how electricity, she sees that as fire as well. And when she was working on fire, her electricity went out. It was very interesting. So today we worked on, at level 1, acknowledging our fears. At level 2, taking a risk, taking small risks, just getting used to that. And then playing full out at level 3, we take action. So we take like a calculated risk. So I honored my commitment. I went to the gym today. I was really rushed for time. I didn't sleep well last night. It's so interesting that today was about confronting our fears, because I don't know about you or where you're from, but here there's like this infestation of this. I thought it was some kind of beetle. I had never seen it, never heard of it in my whole life. And it's called a stinkbug, which is the grossest name I've ever heard in my life. And I guess there's like an infestation of them in America. They came over, I guess, in luggage from, I think, Japan or somewhere. I don't remember. But so yeah, my friend just posted an article about it, and I don't love bugs anyway. I mean, I'm not the most squeamish, but I'm just sort of like, I'm cool with like live and let live, but I don't know. These are just so ugly. I mean, seriously, Google a picture. They're trying to come in for the winter, so there's lots of them. And here, this area, just, there's so many insects. And it's not like I never saw insects in New York or anything, but here they're everywhere, like constantly getting bitten by mosquitoes, swarms of bugs everywhere you go. It's crazy. So anyway, so last night I had a long day. I stayed up late to finish some social media stuff, and I was so excited to go to bed. I was so tired. And so I got into bed, and I was like, I put my head on my pillow, and I was like, there's something on my arm, and I looked, and it was one of those bugs, and I like hit it. It was like my worst fear, not my worst fear, but it was like confronting a fear, because like that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want them to touch me, you know? That's what my fear of bugs is in general. I think I just don't want them to get on me or touch me or feel them crawling on me. So that was probably worst case scenario with those particular bugs, and I ended up having to hit it off of me with my phone. And I slept on my couch because I didn't know how it got into my room. Well, I knew it probably came in through the air conditioning vent or something. So, and I called my dad to come over and like get it for me, find it. I was like, because I'm currently alone in life. I had to call my dad. So he came, and he lives close by, so it wasn't a big deal for him. And he doesn't mind being the exterminator. And he put a screen on my, they're supposed to come spray for these bugs, but we're like on some list. So he put a screen on the air conditioner, and so hopefully that'll keep them out. But I will be confronting a fear tonight by getting into bed. I'm telling you, I can't stand the thought of a bug being on me. It's like, I'm not a camping kind of girl, an outdoorsy kind of girl. And I have so many mosquito bites on me right now. So no, I'm not looking forward to that. I would say some of my other fears would be going up on lyrics or lines on stage. That's a huge one. I've confronted that many, many times, but it's still there. It's one of those things where because it has happened, I know it can happen, and there's always like a temptation roll with that fear and go with it and like believe it and attach to it. But I've like since worked on kind of letting go and being like, you've prepared, you got to let it go. You've prepared, because I used to be backstage like with all my weird tics and like and like going over the lyrics over and over in my brain, which is the worst thing you can do. Especially when another song's on, to like try to remember the lyrics of your song. Worst thing you can do. So I've confronted that fear a lot. I have a fear of failure. Although I feel like I have failed many times at many things. And looking back, I don't see them as failures. I see them as lessons learned, you know, misfit commitments, like things I tried and it was a trial and it didn't work out. So I don't, and it's something I learned, and I don't regret doing it, because if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have known that it wasn't a good fit. So I have had failures. While it was happening and it felt like a failure, it was terrible. Hindsight really helps, right? Something else I'm afraid of is success. I'm afraid of success because I'm afraid of just being bombarded all the time with like having so many commitments that I lose myself. Like I'm very afraid of that. But I think learning to manage myself here and learning my rhythm and what I need to feel okay. Because I think part of also something that is a wound of mine is not knowing how to self-soothe. And that's probably wounding from as a baby, not knowing how to, you know, care for myself, caress myself, get myself out of like an emotional state. It takes me a while to kind of process, and sometimes I'll just live with like an intense emotion for a while. And I think that's something to do with self-soothing. That's been on my radar to work through. And also, when we were asked this question in a recent family constellation workshop I did with Mark Wolin at the Open Center in New York, he asked us what our greatest fear was, and what I came up with was drowning in other people's expectations and agenda. And I would say that's still the case. And sometimes I put it on myself. Like I noticed today, something came up with a social media thing, and I had this schedule planned for my day that I really wanted to adhere to, and I had lost time because I went to bed late and I couldn't sleep in my bed, and it was hard for me to fall asleep on the couch. So I had lost time already. And then I was like, I got to get to the gym. I want to read the chapter. I have to take extensive notes. I can't wait to get it done on time today and like have a lot of time at the gym to enjoy. And it didn't happen that way. I felt like I looked at the schedule for our social media account, and it's like the responsibilities are sort of shifting right now. And the owner actually kind of wants to get volunteers to do a lot of the work, and I don't know that it's necessarily working out. I didn't see a lot of stuff scheduled, so I freaked out, and I was like, we're losing likes on our page. We have to do this. So I was like, you know what? I'll just schedule some things from before, and hopefully it'll work out. So I always take that upon myself to like put out fires and stuff, and maybe it would have been for the best for him to see, like, you kind of get what you pay for. You should invest in me more. Otherwise, nothing's gonna get posted, buddy. Like, that's how things work, you know? So, but instead, I email him and I say, hey, I noticed, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's in my nature to like really care about what I do and to not want to be a part of a failing business. I just don't want to be a participant in the failure of something. I just don't. I want to help something thrive. So anyway, and I'm sorry if the music's distracting. I really like this CD, and I thought it would be great for Fire Week. I play different music for the elements. The first week for air, I played a CD called Wind Song, and then for Water Week, I played Healing Waters, and it was sounded more like a flute or something, but that's what the CD was called. And then for this week for Fire, I'm playing Drum Sex. Yeah, you heard me right. I have a CD player. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I love this CD. It's very fiery. It pumps you up. And I'm feeling very fiery today, taking no BS. And you know, it's funny how fire is medicine for water and water is medicine for fire. Like if you're feeling really fiery agitation or like angsty emotions or anger, it's really good to like let waters calm and soothe you. And then the opposite, if you're feeling really depressed and heavy with emotion, doing something fiery, listening to fiery music can help burn some of that off. So it's great. And she said something about how fire in this chapter, which led me to an understanding of why she did it in this order to a certain extent. She talked about how fire will burn away the old to make room for like new sprouts to grow, which I'm guessing is what Earth is going to be, creating what those things we set in the day one, nurturing that. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of that. I think I got off topic. Are you surprised? Also, do you like the new backdrop? I thought the color of the sun might be, I have like a yellow kitchen, so I thought the color of the sun might be good for fire. Let's see. Take a risk. Like I said, getting back into my bed tonight is going to be a risk for me. I know that sounds silly, but I don't like bugs being on me. I'm so scared. And I'm alone. I don't have anyone here to protect me from... Oh my gosh, that just scared me. Okay, so yeah, so getting into my bed tonight, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make myself do it. I won't sleep on the couch tonight because it was terrible sleep. It was not good. And did not feel rested. It was probably part of my agitation. Because the other day when I was very angsty and angry and like not very grateful for life, I also had not had a lot of sleep, and so sleep's important for a girl. And that, I feel like that's going to be the risk I'm going to take. I've also been speaking up for myself a lot today. I've also been less attached to a lot of things, which I can tell is the fire. Like just kind of saying things and not really like watching for how it lands on people, you know what I mean? Because that can be very annoying to people. Like when you say stuff and you like wait for them to laugh or wait for it to land, it's like, all right, calm down. Anyway, so yeah, I've been noticing that. I'm also noticing it's probably the CD, but my rhythm is like up, and like I worked out really hard and fast today, and it felt so good to burn up so much water and burn off a lot of my angry, aggressive energy like I've been having. It's very fiery. So fire is good for me. Air is probably better medicine for me, but it's good to get in touch with this because it's important to like burn up all that stuff, you know? That anything else with fear, because I'm really getting off topic. Anything else about fear? Fear. Oh, so in the family constellation workshop where I said that my greatest fear was drowning other people's agenda and needs, I think I said. I think that's how I worded it. Drowning other people's agenda and needs, whatever. I can't remember the exact wording, but that's the gist. You get it. And he acknowledged that's based on taking on heavy emotional burden from a parent, usually mother. For me, it was both, but we worked with mother, and he took a rope, and I actually did this in a private session too with another facilitator who wasn't in that workshop. So it was great to see that this is like a technique within the system that people use frequently for this wounding. So you can use it too. If you feel like, you know, you sort of take on, and this is sacral chakra stuff, right? And what heals that watery, what's medicine for the watery chakra is fire. And where's the fire? It's in your solar plexus chakra, the one right just above it, just above your belly button. So what are we working on? Differentiation. Instead of enmeshing with parents, we're working on differentiation, being a different person, not allowing their agenda to kind of burden us, and just to be our own person. And in the beginning, it's going to feel like inappropriate anger. It's going to feel out of balance, because it is. And it might induce some guilt. And that's what happens, right? So when we differentiate from parents, we do go through some guilt. And some of us are doing it very late in life. So it's even more challenging because this is an ingrained pattern that we've taken on. But what you can do, the exercise, sorry, I diverted. The exercise you can do is take a piece of, you know, either beautiful yarn that you like, some kind of rope flexible material. Preferably something you already have, but feel free to go to the craft store. You know, I love my craft stores. And what you'll do is you're going to imagine that yarn or rope is your boundary, your personal boundary, your personal, whatever it is you feel you need for space. And it might be extra big at first. It might be really small and held in. And that's kind of telling of your energy, right? You just do what feels right, what you think it is, right? And then what you'll do is you'll kind of stand in it. And you're only allowed to feel your own feelings. No one else's are allowed in there, right? You can only feel your own feelings, your own energy, your own thoughts. This is great for empaths. And anyone that's enmeshed with anything or over-identifying with something for somebody. So you're only allowed to feel you, who you are. And it's incredible. And then if you want to go a step further, you make another boundary that represents the parent's boundary that you're enmeshed with. And you place it how close or far away you think they should be. And it's funny because when I first did it in the individual session, we didn't do my mother in my mother's boundary, we only did mine in the workshop. But when I did my private session, she had me do one for my mother, and I made her bubble touch mine because I still wanted to feel her love, and like I still wanted to be close to her. I just wanted to be myself and have my own boundary, and not feel manipulated or controlled in any way. So the facilitator was like, why are your bubbles touching? And I was just like, I just want to be able to still feel her and see her. And she had me, she's like, move it back just a little bit and just tell her, Mom, I'm afraid that I won't be able to feel your love if I'm too far away from you. Or something to that effect. And it was really moving and it was very healing. Anyway, that's an exercise you can do for that fear. And that was my fear, so I don't know why I'm imposing my fear on you. I'm sorry. That's not even the point of today. But I hope that's helpful in some way. I also feel very animated, even more so than usual. I'm a pretty animated person. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I've definitely burned up some fire today. Worked on some. I definitely feel a lot more courage, a lot less fear. Like I just want to, I wish I knew where to channel this energy. Like I wish I had a really strong goal or sense of what I want to do, but It's really just the work I'm involved in right now, doing this process, and working on my body. That's really what I'm focused on right now. But I have like this excess that needs to be channeled, and I know I need to do creative. I need to do something creative. I had an astrologer, my astrologer back in New York told me that because I'm a very sensitive person and yet I'm also a little bit wild, I have to nurture both parts of me every day or one will feel neglected. And I was just like, what do you do to nurture your wild side around here? I don't know. But this is definitely, the spiritual work's definitely nurturing my sensitive side. So I don't know, but I definitely feel more courageous, ready to take on this week. I love fire. It's gonna burn up that water. And I am gonna do more creative things. She'll probably have us do another project, you know. Okay, so that was what I was thinking about today. That's what I did today. Let me know what your experience was in the comments. How was your day? What do you think of this music if you can hear it? I don't even know. I'm kind of far away from the CD player right now, but I might be picking it up. Subscribe, like this video if you're watching so I know, and the bell icon will give you notifications as soon as a new video is uploaded. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow.